Once upon a time there was a man. And this man had a very important job. He was a servant and he worked in a house on the top of a hill. And it was his job every day to fetch water. Water for cooking, water for cleaning, water for bathing. And he would get up in the morning and he would go and he would pick up a pole and he would carry it across his shoulders. And on the ends of this pole, on each side, there was a pot for collecting water from the river down at the bottom of the valley. And he would walk down a long and winding dusty path all the way to the bottom of the valley. And there he would rest for a moment in the cool and the shade and listen to the noises of the river. And when he'd rested, he would take the pots and he would fill them with water from the river and he would put them back on the pole and they were heavy now, and he would carry them all the way up that long and winding dusty path to the house on the top of the hill. And he had to do this journey several times a day. And this went on for days, for weeks, for months, for years. But one day, and we don't really know how this happened, but one day, one of those pots developed a crack. Well, if there is a crack in your pot, the water you are carrying is going to drip, drip, drip away. And so it was, by the time he got back up to the house on top of the hill, only half that pot full of water was left. The rest had been lost. But it didn't seem to bother the man. Not one bit, actually. He carried on, fetching and carrying the water every day. He had to make more trips now, because he couldn't carry as much water at once. But it didn't bother him. Do you know who it did bother, though? The perfect pot. The pot that had nothing wrong with it began to mutter and whine and whisper into the man's ear, and it was not a kind pot. And this pot would say things like, "What you doing with that pot? It's got a crack in it. It can't do its job anymore. It's making our life much harder. I think you should throw it away and get another good pot, a perfect pot, like me." Well, the man said nothing. He just ignored the mutterings and the whinings of the perfect pot, and he carried on in his job day after day. And this went on for weeks, and this went on for months. But the poor cracked pot, well, every day he had to listen to someone talking about how he was useless and rubbish and couldn't do his job anymore and how he was making everyone's life harder. And he tried so hard, but he could not pull himself together. And so he became sad. And he began to feel worthless. And he began to believe the perfect pot when it said that he was making their lives more difficult. And one afternoon, as they sat by the river in the shade, the cracked pot couldn't stand it any longer, and it spoke to the man. "I know we've been together a long time," said the cracked pot, "but I know I'm making your life hard. I know I'm not helping, and I know I can't do my job anymore, and I can't pull myself together, and maybe it's time you let me go and just leave me behind and get yourself another good pot, a pot that will make your life easier. I don't want to make things hard for you." Well, the cracked pot wondered whether the man had heard him or not, because the man said nothing. He just went and filled both the pots up with water from the river. He put them back on the pole, he hoisted them onto his shoulders, and he began to walk. And as they walked along, the poor cracked pot, well, he just dripped, dripped, dripped all the way. And after some moments had passed, the old man said to the perfect pot, "Look down. Tell me what you see on your side of the path." And the perfect pot, "Why?" "Just do it for me," said the old man. And the perfect pot looked Well, there's nothing there, is there? It's just dust and stones and dry, parched earth. Why? And then the man, with a smile on his face, turned to the cracked pot and said, "Look down. Tell me what you can see on your side of the path." And the cracked pot looked down, and all the way along his side of the path there grew wild flowers.